it's not really Thursday, it's Tuesday night. This is probably the soonest I've done a recorded live, but I explained last week that Thursday, this coming Thursday, is my birthday, and my husband Ray and I are going to the Arboretum to do the adult stroll through the Christmas lights. So really excited about that, but because we're doing that, I'm not going to be able to be with you on Thursday night. So I am recording tonight, but you will have it on Thursday. So we're gonna pretend like it's Thursday Night Live, and I'm just gonna say hello to all of you that join me on Thursday Night Lives. Hi Mom, good to see you again. Others that I think might be on would be Krista and Kara and perhaps Nadine and Tina, and I'm sure there's others, and I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned your names, but one thing that will help me as we go forward is always comment so that I know that you're watching. That will be very helpful to me. And then, I'll say hi back, or if you've got questions, ask me questions, but I love interacting with you. So because I'm not going to be live on Thursday night, please do go ahead and type in your questions and I'll get those answered as soon as I'm able. So thank you again for joining me on Thursday Night Live. So I've got so much to share with you tonight. There's so much going on. It's getting close to the holiday. We've got a new year that's going to be starting. Our old mini catalog is actually going to be finishing up probably the first couple days of January. I'm thinking like January the 4th, because our new catalog is coming into play on January the 5th. So let me do some switching around here so that I can start showing you everything. And I shared this last week. I can't show you what's in the new catalog, but I can show you the cover of the catalog. And I'm actually going to give you another sneak peek tonight on a couple of things. First of all, with the new mini catalog, it's January through April of 2024. And one of the bundles that will be featured in the new catalog is the Hot Air Balloon bundle. And the Hot Air Balloon suite, if you will, with the bundle, comes with all kinds of things. Let me see if I can, give me just a second, because I want to be with you. So let me do this. There we go. I just wanted to be with you while I was sharing all of this. So we've got the Hot Air Balloon photopolymer stamp set. It comes with stamps as well. Dies. You can see that the dies are heart-shaped. This is coming just in time for spring and Valentine's. And such pretty spring paper. So the paper for this suite is 6x6. And you've got obviously front and back again. So we've got the balloons, and you can see that the balloons are heart-shaped. And the heart-shaped dies, I'm sure, will actually cut those out as well. So you can stamp, but you can also cut out from your DSP. So we've got this side and then a pretty striped side. We've got polka dots and clouds. Can you imagine the balloons floating around on the clouds there? We've got some lemon lolly stripes and some, I forget what this is called. I know it's got a name. Maybe you guys can think of it and put it in the comments. Some more pretty little flowers, some diamond shapes, and some scallops, some lines that are angled, and then the blue. So a lot of fun things that we can do. So I'm already starting to plan what we might be able to use this set for. But not only does it come with the paper, but it also comes with the baker's twine that matches the paper. And then look at these fun dots. These are called rainbow adhesive back dots. How fun are those? So I will be planning something with this just because I think it's fun. Springtime, if you've got littles in your family, this would make great birthday cards for them, or even Valentine's cards for them. So let me put that off to the side. I'm going to bring in the Celebration catalog. I can't show you what's in here either, but remember, Celebration goes from January 4th to February 29th. it's a leap year. This next year is a leap year. How fun is that going to be? So I want to try to plan something fun to celebrate that February 29th date. But with celebration, when you place your orders, when you are qualifying levels, you can select things out of the celebration catalog for free. Everything in here is free with qualifying orders. The other thing that this talks about is our new recruitment specials. So people who are thinking about becoming demonstrators, whether you want to be a demonstrator because you want to work a business like I am, or there's more of us, and I include me in that because I was one of them, demonstrators that just want the discounts on the products. I've shared before, I joined 3 different times just because I wanted the discount on the product. But what's even cooler besides all of that is that the free gift for becoming a demonstrator during that celebration period is you get a free glass mat. This is a glass mat. You can kind of see the reflection in my lights, but it's a glass mat that you can work on. It's 13 inches in both directions. You've got your imperial and your metric on it, but that's not all. You have, let me find the other pieces that come with it. You have a tray, a silicone tray that doesn't slide, so I could put my stamp set on here or my ink pad on here. Let me see. It's got little slots for your little Stampin' spot, so I could put my little Stampin' spot in there. There's a tray here that I could do some mixing on if I wanted to do that. And then it also comes with a cloth that you can utilize to not only wipe up your glass mat, but you can also use it on your stamps. So I'm going to be learning more about this. I'm going to start incorporating it into how I'm working, and we'll learn about this together. But the cool thing is that when you sign up to be a demonstrator between the time of January 4th through February 29th, you can receive this glass mat and its other pieces for free. The kit is $99 and you get to select $125 worth of product, your choice. Stampin' doesn't choose for you. You get to choose. Plus they pay the shipping. So it's a cool deal for sure. All right, let me move this off to the side. I'm going to continue to work on my glass mat. But speaking of free shipping, I want to bring up my next slide to share with you. This is a big deal. Stampin' Up! Surprised us. I sent out an email about this. I put it on my Facebook. I want everybody to be aware of the fact that Stampin' Up! Is offering a 1-day only free shipping day for qualifying orders of $75 or more. So that's this Thursday, my Facebook Live. You might be interested in the suite that I'm sharing, the Magical Meadow suite, which I also have to tell you that the Magical Meadow suite is available in the current mini catalog, but it's on the list to be retired. So if you do fall in love with this bundle, you're definitely going to want to get it before it retires at the end of the year. And this would be the perfect time to do it because you can order it and get free shipping. But you have to have a qualifying order. So I wanted to put that in. Let me see. I think what I'll do is I'll put my shop in there just so that you guys are familiar with that. There's a number of different ways to get to my online store, but it's aprildavis.stampinup.net, or you can go to my website, aprildaviscreations.com, and there's buttons there to be able to get to my online store as well. So there's a number of different ways that you can get to my online store. All right, what else do I need to share with you? I'm going to switch to my to-go classes because tonight is a to-go class. Let me put this up here, take this off. And basically the to-go class, every Thursday is I share 3 cards with you. If you're interested in getting those cards, there's actually 6, 2 of each card. If you're interested in getting them for free, then what you want to do is you want to place a qualifying order in my online store. utilizing the host code that I have here. The host code this time is QW2VZ6FS. So you'll want to use that. You can go to my website, go to classes to go. All of this information will be there. But you place a qualifying order of $40 or more before tax and shipping, and I will send you the kit for free. I send you everything you need, the paper, the designer series paper. If I'm utilizing punches or die cuts that are not part of the bundle, then I go ahead and do that. But anything as far as stamping, because I can't stamp for you, it's company policy, I can't stamp for you, and I won't die cut for you if it's part of the bundle. So anything that's part of the bundle, I'm not going to do, but I'm going to do everything else. You get a full kit so that you can create the cards exactly like I have. The other piece that I want to share with you is you don't have to have the bundle to utilize the kit. If you've got dies and stamps in your library that are similar, you can actually get really creative and create something with the kit that I send you. So you don't necessarily have to buy the bundle, but if you want to make the cards exactly the way that I have made them, then you're going to want the bundle. If you have an order of $50 or more, I will include a free set of embellishments. My order didn't come today, so I'm not able to show you them, but anybody who places an order of $50 or more will get a free set of embellishments that they can utilize with their cards as well. So the ordering period is December 12th through the 18th. And then the 19th, I will start cutting kits and hopefully have your to-go kit shipped to you by December 20th. You'll get the to-go kit. I'll email you to let you know that I've sent your kit and include a PDF tutorial. So you'll have the tutorial to help explain how to put your kit together. You'll have the video that I will also upload to YouTube. What we're doing right now, you'll have that to put your kit together, and then of course you'll have your kit. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Just don't forget you need to utilize the hostess code or the host code in order for me to be triggered that you're interested in that kit for free. So let me do a little bit more switching around here. Let's see if I can get to this. Bringing me back up. Very good, and I'm gonna set that up, and I'm gonna start showing you the cards that we're gonna make tonight. So let me bring them over, and I'll switch the screen again. Let's see, there we go. Oh, these cards are so pretty. Again, I'm using the Magical Meadow bundle. It's the bundle that we used last week. I've got a set of 3 more cards that we're going to do next week utilizing this same bundle. All these cards are so pretty. So tonight we've got the Blueberry Bushel card that we're going to be creating. This is going to be a fun one. Then we're using Moody Mauve for our second card, and we'll be using Misty Moonlight for our third card. So I'm just going to jump right in and start sharing these cards with you. Pull this kit out. This is Blueberry Bushel cardstock. Pull that out. Oh, I got my little leaves, my holly leaves coming out. I've got a scrap of Blueberry Bushel. We're going to be doing some embossing on this. I've got my designer series paper that we're going to use. This is a scrap of cardstock for us to be able to stamp our branches that we're going to be doing in die cutting. I've got some ribbon that we're going to use and some more designer series paper. I've got lots of little berries in here. I'm going to try to pull out the leaves, and I'm going to leave the berries in till the last minute because we got a lot of little berries. All right, so let me pull those out. One more. And then maybe, I don't know, let me see if I can get this tilted so you guys can see there's all my berries in there. So we'll pull those out at the very end. But we'll move this stuff off to the side. And the first thing I'm going to start with is the stamping. So let me pull this off. And we're going to stamp in, actually, did I pull the white? Yes, I did. Okay, so we're going to stamp in the Versamark, and then I've got white embossing powder. So we're going to utilize that. Here's my little embossing kit. And one of the things that I always do when I'm embossing is I use my little embossing buddy, and I just take it and I rub it over where I'm going to emboss. And the reason I do that is our fingers have oils in them, and I've been touching the paper, and so I don't want any of the embossing powder to stick to the oils. I just want it to stick to my Versamark. So the Versamark is what I use for stamping. So basically what we're going to have this card say is, may this season of sparkle bring joy and delight. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to make sure I've got my embossing gun ready to go as well. Open up this. So we're ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is a rubber stamp. So I'm not going to be utilizing my piercing pad that I normally utilize when I'm working with photopolymer stamps, because there's a lot more cushion. I don't know if you can see the sides to the stamp, but there's a lot more cushion to the stamp. So I really don't need to have to use my other pad. So let me go ahead and just press this down. Make sure I got a good connection. Straight up, straight down, looks really good. I'm going to move some of this other stuff out of the way so that I can get to my Simply Chamois and clean my ink pad off, or my stamp off, excuse me. So we'll go ahead and get that cleaned off. The Versamark ink stays wet for quite a bit of time, so I'm not worried about it drying. In fact, the Versamark, and when you're embossing and you're doing multiple cards, it's nice to be able to stamp card 1, 2, 3, 4, however many, and then you can go ahead and emboss everything, heat emboss everything. So I'm just making sure that I got everything covered. I want you to notice that for the most part, all of the embossing powder has come off of this. If I had any left, and there is maybe just a flake here or there, I can use my brush and kind of whisk it away, being careful not to touch anything, because anything that's left on the card, when you go to heat emboss, it will emboss. So all those little flecks that you've got will heat emboss, and if you don't want those, then you want to make sure to get them removed. So I'm going to go ahead and move that off to the side. And normally I would utilize my tweezers to kind of help hold my paper while I'm heat embossing, but because I've got an extra big piece of paper, I'm just going to hold the end of the paper. It's going to get a little noisy for just a second. Hang tight, but I'm hoping that you can watch this change over. So we're going to get this warmed up for just a second. This glass is also tempered so that you can heat emboss on it, so that's exciting as well. All right, feels like it's getting warm, and you're just going to hold it over and kind of move it around, and you'll start to see the powder change. It'll melt. You don't want to do too much. I'm going to stop. I'm going to look to make sure that I got everything, because anything that you didn't get will wipe away, but that's done. It went so fast. It melted right away. So now we've got this embossed. So the next step, I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. The next step is to die cut. And we are going to be utilizing tonight the deckled rectangle dies to cut out this particular sentiment. I'm going to be utilizing the smallest of those dies. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get it turned over. I've got, hopefully I've got my tape here. Hopefully. Let me look and see. It was here before. I've got a piece of scrap. That's good. All right. Because I keep pieces of tape. This low-tack tape is reusable, so I reuse it all the time. So I'm going to try to get this straight the way that I want it and just get that tacked down. Then I'm going to bring up my sandwich, my main plate, my cutting plate. And I know I've probably talked about this before, but I'm going to mention it again. You can see how well this cutting plate has been used over and over again, but it's in good shape. I mean, it's not warped. It's in really good shape. I typically use one plate strictly for cutting, and I use the other plate for the top. Now, sometimes I might forget, and you might see a cut here and there, but truly I'm utilizing this one for all my cutting. And then when this one gets to the point where I just can't use it anymore, then now I have this plate that goes for my cutting plate, and I'll take a new plate out. Stampin' Up! Does have replacement tape plates. So let me go ahead and get this lined up so that we can get it sent through. All right, we'll move this out of the way. I'm gonna bring my dies back in so I can just put it away while I have it out. So I'm gonna put my die off to the side, put my die back in here, and everything is kept together. All right, move these out of the way, goes into the bin. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring back in our card base. So our card base is the blueberry bushel. I'm gonna fold that in half and utilize my bone folder so that it's nice and flat. And now this DSP cut was cut, so this is going to go edge to edge, but I'm going to center it in the middle. So you're gonna have some blueberry bushel at the top, blueberry bushel at the bottom, but it's gonna go edge to edge. So let's go ahead and get this glued down. We've got some more die cutting that we're gonna do, but I'm gonna get this card base started. Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to show you, on this particular designer series paper, you've got your flowers, your branches, your berries on one side, and then the other side is more of a wash, if you will. And basically what I did is I took that same designer series paper, turned it over, cut it out with my favorite dies, the stylish shape dies. I use the largest of the circles. And what I'll do is I'll adhere the designer series paper here, and then I'm gonna take the circle and put it right in the middle. And then we'll start working on getting our branches ready. So let's go ahead and get this down. All right. And we'll go ahead and get this centered. And again, you know, I like the glue because I can fiddle around with it a little bit. I've got some flexibility to get it to move a little bit while I am getting it set. So we've got that, and I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this down to the center. Okay. Put it right in the middle. Okay, we have this ready to go. I'm gonna set it aside. Next step, we are going to make the branches. And let me see, I'm gonna pull that stamp out of here. It's this stamp right here, so let me pull a block. Maybe that one's not big enough, so I'm gonna pull the larger one and set my stamp down right here. Now, what we're gonna do, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but in this, I have a brown branch. I have greenery. And then of course I've got my berries. Well, we know we're gonna adhere the berries, but how am I gonna get my branch and my, the rest of the branch, the greenery green? I'm going to use my Stampin' Right markers. I'm going to use the Early Espresso, which is the brown, and I'm going to use, I decided I wanted my greenery to be a little bit, not quite as green as I did the first card that I did, so I'm using Pretty Peacock, because Pretty Peacock's one of my favorite colors. So I'm gonna make my greenery Pretty Peacock. So basically what you're gonna do, there's two ends to these markers. There's a nub end to the marker, if you can see that, and then we have a brush tip end. For this particular technique, I'm going to use the brush tip nib, and I'm basically going to go into my stamp and I'm going to color my branch. Follow it all the way up, but I'm coloring in my branch. So we've got some branch down here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and get this colored in. And then once I've done this, and I'm going to have to do this twice, so you'll get to see me practice this again. But I'm going to do the dark first, and then I'm going to come in with the brush end of my Pretty Peacock, and I'm going to start coloring in all the rest of my stamp. Now, I'm not worried about the blueberries because I'm calling them blueberries. I can go ahead and I can color in over that simply because I'm going to be placing berries on top of it anyway. So I'll have some color underneath it. But I'm going to go ahead and color this in. Not hard to do. You don't want to do this with your alcohol markers. Those will not transfer and they will stain your stamp significantly. They're not intended, they're not waterproof, so you definitely don't want to use them. But these can be utilized and you can color to your heart's content. I think there might have been a branch there. I might come back in with my brown there in just a second. I'm not being neat about this at all. I'm just kind of scribbling it on. I'm wanting it to transfer. So let me pull this out again just so I can kind of go in and get this updated a little bit more in the brown. And then basically what you're going to do is, obviously it's taking me a bit of time to get this colored. So potentially my ink has dried. It's not a problem. Basically you're going to blow on it, or I call it huffing. I know there's other terminology, but I don't know what that is. But I'm just going to, I know you can't see me, but I'm blowing moist air out on this. And then what I can do is I can turn it over and I can stamp. The moist air has helped to moisten the ink. So now I've got it stamped. And you can see it's so pretty. You've got the brown, you've got the green. I love the green that I decided to use. So now I'm going to go back in because I have to do 2 of these. And I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color in my stem again. I love doing this. This is a lot of fun. And if you've got stamps that you want to have different colors, but you're not quite sure how to get that done, get your markers out, your watercolor markers, and then you can go ahead and color on your stamps. Let's see, did I get all my branches? I think I did. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take out my Pretty Peacock again, and I'm looking for my brush end. This is my brush end. And again, I'm just going to start scribbling my green on. I'm not trying to be neat. I just don't want to go into my brown because I want my brown to be there, but everything else I can just kind of scribble along. And, you know, if you're not fast, don't worry about it. You can do your little moist air blowing on it and it will reactivate the ink so that you can stamp. So almost done. I think I have everything covered. Just double checking, throwing out a few more flicks just to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm not so worried about the berries because I'm going to be putting berries over it again anyway. But here we go. I'm going to go ahead and blow on this again to get some moisture into the ink. It's probably a good thing you can't see me doing that. And then we'll just stamp it down. want to make sure the ink transfers. I'm gonna pull this up. There you go, looks great. Let me go ahead and clean my stamp before we go to the next step. So I'm gonna clean this off. And then the nice thing about the chamois is you can see that there's still ink in there from where I colored. So I can go ahead and take my chamois and pick it up and start scrubbing in those areas that I wasn't able to get just by, you know, moving it back and forth. So I'll get that all cleaned up. Pretty good. Put this back. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring the die cuts back out again, and we are actually going to cut out these branches. This greenery. Whoops, wrong one. This one. The die cuts are going to be this particular, is that right? Do I already have it out? I think maybe it's this one. Let me see. I feel like there's another one. Oh, here it is. I'm like, I know it's there. It's going to be this one. And I'm going to line it up, and it's going to cut everything out for me. So let's go ahead and get this first one lined up. And I might show you too, the way that the dies are, you'll figure this out. But for example, if I were to use this die, you see all the detail in this die. I can put this on a piece of cardstock, cut it out. All I have to do is fill in the spaces where the berries go. But you've got a branch, if you will, that's already cut. This one is open, so there's no detail to it. Your detail is in the stamp. So it's fun that you can be able to stamp, but then come back and use your die cut to cut out what you've already stamped. The other one doesn't necessarily require stamping. All right, so let me get this lined up the way that I want it. There we go. Bring my little mini back in. Send this through. And then we'll do it a second time for the other side. Pull this up. But look how that came out. Can you see the brown? And then, of course, the leaves. And now you can see the berries. But I'm going to put actual die-cut berries on those. So let's do this one more time. Let me get this lined up. And then once we get this done, we can actually start to assemble the card. Off of there. Push this through. Get my plates lined up. Sometimes I have to give it a head start. Push this through. All right. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Get my sandwiches out. This one off. Now I've got my two pieces of greenery. Whoops. Turn this over. I have this on the back because I just don't have enough room on the front for all of the pieces that came with this set. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead, and before I start putting it together, I wanna get my berries on. So I'm looking for my envelope. I'm going to attempt to get these berries out. There's a lot of them. But the nice part, oh, that's good. I got them all on the first swipe. I'll pull out my take your pick. I've got my glue here. I'm gonna use my tweezers to help me. And basically what I'm gonna be doing, let me make sure I've got my glue tip cleaned off. First thing I want to do is I want to turn all of these over so they're facing up, so that when I go to glue them down, I've got the right side up. So let me do this fairly quickly, I hope. Hopefully I got lucky and most of them are up, but I do have a few to turn. So we'll turn, whoops, that one decided to hop around. When I take my take your pick to pick these up, I need them to be right side up to make everything go faster. Otherwise I have to fuss and turn them over while I'm trying to glue them down, and that's not any fun. So I've just learned the hard way to make sure that they're all facing up the first time around. And then I can just go, and it'll go really fast. Okay, one more, I think. Okay, oh, shucks. One more. I know I already said that, but this one just doesn't really want to turn. It's being a pill. All right, there we go. I think we got them all. Now, you can see typically where those berries go. They're all right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one branch at a time, and I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to do little bitty dots. Doesn't take much. I'm just going to do teeny tiny little dots. I'm going all the way through with these to get all these down, and I'm just going to, it's kind of be assembly line. But I hope you can see the little bitty dots that I'm doing. So I've got all my glue down for that particular branch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my berries and I'm just going to start placing them. Pick and place. And I use my tweezers just to help pull it off of my putty, because my putty is sticky. That's how I'm able to pick up the berries. It also works not just for paper, but it also works for any kind of embellishments that you have. If you're doing loose sequins or something like that, you can use your take your pick and the putty end and be able to pick up your embellishments, your gems as well. So let's get these down, and then we can get focused on the next one. Again, it doesn't take very much glue. This one came up, I've got glue on the end of my tweezers, so I'm going to take that off. And then we're just going to keep going. I'm going to look at this for just a second because part of this is going to go behind the circle, or behind the sentiment. So I don't want to use up all of my berries, because it looks like I am, if it's going to be behind a sentiment. So let me get these down. And it looks like my other, and I ran these through 3 times. So there's 11 berries on each one. So I did 33 berries. Did I already? Oh, I found some more berries. I thought there had to have been more. All right, let me pull out these other berries and then I won't feel so bad. See if I can get these out, because I'm like, how come I don't have enough berries? Oh, they're going to be a pickle getting out. There's one. Oh, here comes this next one. All right, I think I have them all now. So let's get these turned. And then I'll come back to this other one if I decide I want to put more berries on. But I'm going to this is going to have a sentiment over it. So that's why I'm not putting berries there. All right, back to my glue. See how fast that went? It just went so fast. I'm putting little teeny tiny dots. That's all you need. So I can do that very quickly. These last 4 down here. And now I'm back at it again, working to get these berries placed. So I'm going to use my tweezers again to help pull the berries off of my putty end. And one came up. Gotta push it back down. I don't think I shared with you guys, or maybe I did, maybe last week. But those of you that are just watching for the first time tonight or happened to miss last week, Ray and I are going to Silver Dollar City for the weekend. So I'm really excited. It's probably been a good, oh gosh, 10 years, I'm going to say, since I've been to Silver Dollar City. So really, really excited. I love, love, love Christmas lights. Love them. So excited to be able to go. Apparently didn't have enough berries. So instead of 3 times, I need to do 4 times. But anyway, we'll leave Friday night after work, and then we will be back on Sunday. And the weather's supposed to be really, really nice. So I'm excited about that. All right, I'm going to bring this one in, and I'm going to turn this one around, and I'm going to actually, I may end up cutting it a little bit, perhaps, because I want it obviously to fit on my card. So the other thing that I'm going to do right now is, since I'm going to cut the end of that off, I'm going to take these berries that I put down here. The glue is still tacky. And I'm going to, where did that berry go? That berry was right here. All right, we'll get this one. I don't know where it went. Let me put that berry there. Oh, there it is. See it? It's kind of hard to see with all this blueberry paper. So let me put this berry up here. So I'm going to cut this off because I want it to fit underneath, but I don't want it to be too bulky. So this one, I'm going to take my paper snips. Right here, but I'm not seeing them. Where are my paper snips? All right, I gotta step away for just a second. Oh, there they are. I knew they were here. All right, here we go. I'm gonna cut this at an angle this way, and I'm just gonna cut that off. So I've got this right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to glue that down. And I'm not worried about making sure it's covered from edge to edge. I'm just going to take care of the big part, and I'm going to have it coming off the lower end of my circle. So I've got that there. And then this one will go over the top, and I'm going to have it probably right, let me see, I'm going to have it curve up a little bit. So I'm going to have it go about right here. Again, I'm not going to worry about end-to-end gluing. I'm doing the center because I'm going to be tucking some leaves in. And if I do it end-to-end, then I potentially am not going to be able to get my leaves tucked in. And I am going to go up just a little bit higher. I'm okay if it's on my blue. I kind of like it when it goes a little bit rogue. And then I'm going to bring back these leaves. This is a piece of scrap right here. Oh, did I just throw a leaf away? Oh, I think I did. I think it was stuck to my, oh yeah, it's right here. Ugh, crazy, crazy. It was stuck to my finger because I had a little bit of glue on it, and I want my leaf. All right, okay, so now I'm going to start planning where I want my leaves to go. So I think I'm going to have this one go here, and then we'll do another one right here, and then we'll go up to the top up here, and we'll do one here, and another one here. Just planning right now. And then I'm going to do another one here. I'm going to tuck it in underneath here. I'll be gluing these down. But then what I want to do is I want to take my sentiment, and I want to make sure that my sentiment is where I want it to be as well. So I want the leaves to be tucked in underneath the sentiment. And I think what I'm going to do, and I can't remember how I did this last time because it's been just a little while, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sentiment down and then tuck my leaves up under my sentiment. So I'm going to take my ribbon that's going to go underneath the sentiment, and I'm going to cut an angle on each end just so it's not so straight. So we'll move this out of the way, and then I'm just going to take a piece of tear and tape, and I'm going to put it on the back of my sentiment, just enough to be able to hold my ribbon down. Okay, pull this off. Take my ribbon, and basically I want it just centered right over with two ends peeking out. That looks good. This way and this way. Right in the middle. Okay, that looks good. And then I'm going to take dimensionals. Let me find my dimensionals here. I'm going to take dimensionals and I'm going to put the dimensionals back behind my sentiment. Looking for my tweezers, not sure what I did with those. So I just like my tweezers. I feel like my fingers they get in the way. So let me go ahead and get these down across there, and then we'll take the backs of the dimensionals off. Oh, gotta make sure it's stuck to the tape. So I'm gonna have to set it up again for just a second because it's moving around. Okay, there we go. And then I'll take this and I'll center it right about here where I want it. Press that down. So not only am I pressing it to the card, but I'm also pressing it into the ribbon. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start taking, let me move this stuff out of the way. We're just gonna start taking a little dab of glue and putting it behind each leaf. So this one's gonna get tucked in under here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna start tucking. I have an idea where I want them to go because I was playing with it earlier, as you saw. So that one's gonna go there, and then we're gonna put another one right next to it. Get my little lid out of the way. We'll tuck this one in here. Okay. My little, there we go. And then we're gonna do the same thing with the top of the sentiment. So we're gonna tuck this one in here. I'm trying to keep some of my greenery showing. So we'll put that one there. And then I've got one more to tuck in. You know, when you're gluing things down, you don't necessarily have to make sure that everything's covered. It gives it a little bit more dimension. When it isn't, it's not going to come out because I've got it glued in the back, but that card's done. How pretty is that? And I love the fact that I used a darker greenery. You can see I used a greener greenery on this. I ended up having mostly enough berries, but how pretty that is. So that is card number 1. Let's go ahead and get started with card number 2. Bring it over so that you can see it. Clear my stuff out of the way so we have some room. This time we're going to be using the Moody Mauve. So we've got a Moody Mauve base. I have a white layer that was embossed with, I'm going to show you. It was embossed with the Basics 3D embossing folder, and it left this pretty star flowery base, but we're going to go ahead and layer that there. Then I have another piece of Moody Mauve that's going to go down. I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper that's going to go down. And then I've got several scraps of paper that we're actually going to stamp on and die cut. So let's go ahead. Normally I do my stamping first, but let's save the stamping for last, and we'll go ahead and get the card put together. So let's go ahead and get this set up. And then we're going to center the embossed layer in the middle. So get plenty of glue. I tend to go, really light with the glue, except when I am gluing an embossed layer because of the embossing. You just need a little bit more help because you're not going to be able to reach all of the surface. You've got your highs and your lows on the surface. So let's go ahead and get this down. I'm going to put it on this side. Well, here's the deal. I'm looking to see, and it just didn't fold the way that I wanted it to. So I'm straightening it up. For now, I can do more with it later. But let's go ahead and get this piece down. Get it centered. I only left like 1/8 of an inch on each edge. So I'm going to move this around just a little bit to make sure I've got good coverage of everything. Probably could slide a little this way just a tad. Okay, great. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to actually stamp on this. And I'm going to stamp on it before we lay it down. I'm going to stamp on it with Moody Mauve. So you can stamp on your designer series paper. I don't know how many of you guys do that, but you can stamp on your designer series paper. I'm going to stamp Winter Wishes. I just tapped. I'm going to find where I want it to go. I'm going to place it right here. And there we go. We have Winter Wishes on my designer series paper. Let's clean that off. And then we will go ahead and get this adhered to the cardstock. And I just noticed as I was looking at this that I need a couple of different inks that I haven't brought over. So I'm going to step away for just a quick second. This is edge to edge, top to bottom, and then we're centering it in the middle. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and get this adhered down. Plenty of glue because I'm gluing it to an embossed layer. So let's go ahead and get that centered. I have to pick it up to look at it. Make sure I'm edge to edge even and from both angles. Okay, we've got this ready to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start stamping again. So let me step away for just a quick second, and I am going to grab my markers because I ended up doing some coloring with the markers as well, and I didn't bring over all my colors. So I happen to keep my markers in a case like this. So when I'm ready to use them, oh, it opens up like this. and I have all my markers. They come, you can get them in a case if you get all of them together, or they come in little packs together. But I am gonna I keep them here so that I can keep them all together. So I'm looking for Moody Mauve. So let me look here for that. Here's my Moody Mauve. And then I've already got the brown, so I'm going to pull the brown out. And then I'm actually going to be inking in Misty Moonlight. So I am going to be using Misty Moonlight. And then I'm going to be utilizing, let me see if I can find it, Lost Lagoon. So we're going to be using these colors and Misty Moonlight. So let me move this off to the side and pull my scrap paper back in. And one of the pieces that I have is going to be just strictly white. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the die out for it, just so that I can kind of keep track on what I'm doing. So I'm going to be cutting this in all white. Then I'm going to be stamping or coloring this particular one in the green and the why can't I think of the color? Moody Mauve. And then I've got this one that I'm going to be utilizing, and I've got this one. So let's go ahead and get these all set up on my stamp bases. All right, we may have to move some off. So let's put this one on here. And I'll put this one here. This one here. And then I need a long one, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this one off and put the long one on here. All right, so let's start stamping. The first one I'm going to do in the Lost Lagoon, I'm gonna take my marker again, just like we did before, and I'm gonna color the stem brown. So I'm just gonna go right along the way, color the stem brown. Just about like that. And then we'll take the Lost Lagoon and we'll color in all of our leaves. I'm gonna go down one side and up the other. I think this one was supposed to be green and not brown. Got carried away with my brown. It's not necessarily a straight line. There's leaves covering it. So let's do that. So while I'm doing this, I want to get back to Silver Dollar City. I said that it's probably been, I don't know, maybe 10 years since I've been. I know, Mom, you went last year and really enjoyed yourself. I am not necessarily interested in the rides, but I love the shows, and I love just walking around and looking at all of the various displays and everything. I mean, like I said, it's been so long, but I've heard that there are just hundreds and hundreds, or maybe I should say thousands and thousands of Christmas lights. So I'm really excited about that. I gotta blow on this now. Kind of makes me giggle. All right, so let's stamp this one down. Yay, got that one going. And let me wash it up. Has anybody been? Put it in the comments. Have you been lately? And what are your favorite things to do? I'm not leaving until Friday, so maybe you've got something that is like a must I have to do. Or maybe there's a restaurant in Branson that is a must I have to do. I would love to hear your suggestions because we want to make the most of it while we're there. Okay, now I'm going to do my green for this one and my berries. So let's get the green done first. I'm doing the green in my pretty peacock. So we'll go ahead and get that colored on. This does take a little bit more time than if I just did tap, tap, tap on the stamp pad. But it is fun to be able to have the option to have additional color on your stamp instead of having it just be all one color. So let's go ahead and get our Moody Mauve on here now. Get that done. Okay, I think I kind of got into the green, I think. I'll go back over that again just to kind of help it out, but I feel like I've got some green on the tip of my brush. So it's going to add a little bit of texture, I think, to my, and these are also textured stamps, so they're how do I want to explain it? I will stamp it and then I'll try to show it to you if I get it done right. I'm going to stamp it on this one. So, oh, I forgot to have, gosh, I hope, I hope it does well. If not, we'll be coloring again. Oh, so good, so good. So these little dark spots, those are meant to be. And like on the leaves, the light spots, those are meant to be. They've designed the stamp in a way that gives you that texture, which is really fun. All right, so that one's good to go. And I've got one more that and the one that I have to do is a tap, tap, tap one. So put this one off to this, is that the one? Yes, this is the tap, tap, tap one. So we're gonna do that in Misty Moonlight. Hello. There we go. And I'm just going to tap, 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 make sure I got good coverage. And I'm going to turn it this way, stamp it down. Do I want it that dark? I might want to stamp off. I brought some paper. I'm going to test this because I'm thinking I'm using a different color. See how dark that is? I don't want it that dark. So I stamped off, and now what I can do is stamp it here, and it's much, much lighter. I like that way better. So let's close this up and clean my stamp, and then we'll start running things through the cut and emboss. So let's get this off. And then we can start assembling. This is going to be an easy card. It's a little bit of stamping and a little bit of cutting, and then you're ready to go. All right, cut and emboss. Bring you back in. I've got my dies that we're going to be utilizing. So this first one is just white. So I get to put it down, and I don't have to line anything up. I just want it white. So I got my layers going. I'm going to put this one down like right here. I'm trying to give my other one space for die cutting as well. So let's go ahead and get that in. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side. Here is piece number one. Where's my, take your pick. I'm going to get it up off the, all right, so we've got our first piece. And then let me get my dies out for the others. I got stamps everywhere. So let's pull out this one and this one. See, these are open dies, so they're intended to cut that which you have stamped. So let's get this one first. Get it lined up. Here's my little piece of tape. This is so fun. I really enjoy doing this. And it's even more fun because I get to share it with you guys. So let me get my plates lined up to get me off to a good start. Sometimes they like to play games with me. Excuse me. Oh, there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, it's not important, but there's a little bit of sticky on my plate and it's causing problems. All right, let's pull this one off. And I've got the second one. Fun. We'll put this one away. Then we've got this one that we're going to line up. I'm going to turn it around and get this lined up. My tape. So I don't know if it's changed or not, but the weather for this weekend at Branson was supposed to be like in the upper 40s, low 50s. I mean, if it was like that, that would be amazing. I can remember the last two times that I've been, and again, the last time that I went was like 10 years ago, but it was freezing cold. I mean, colder than freezing cold. And it's just so hard to enjoy yourself when you're trying to figure out how you can just stay warm. So I'm really, really excited. I don't want it to be warm. I want it to be brisk, you know, where you can tolerate it, but not where you're miserable in it. So I need to check the weather again to make sure that we're gonna have, you know, nice weather over there. We're gonna go regardless, but when I looked, a few days ago, it looked amazing, so I was really excited. And I'm not gonna say the R word because I'm not going there. You know, that old saying, what you think about, you bring about, not even thinking about it. There we go, we got the last piece. Because I want it to be just a beautiful weekend to enjoy. All right, so there's my pieces. Now let me move this stuff out of the way, bring my card back in, and we will actually start to assemble. So the first two pieces we're going to put down are my Pretty Peacock piece and my Misty Moonlight piece, and I'm going to try to center them off to the side. I don't want to really cover up a lot of things, so this particular one I'm going to just put little dots of glue along the back. Again, you don't need a ton of glue, but I'm going to bring it down here to the corner, kind of drop it off the edge of the card layer, just a tad. Then we'll bring this one in. I'm going to do the exact same thing, just a few little dots here and there. And let me see, we'll move this off to the side just a little bit. And then I'm going to take this white piece, and once again, probably what I'm going to do with it is I really don't want this piece hanging down there, so I'm going to take where it starts to V, and I'm just going to snip that off so that I've got a good ending to it. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not necessarily going to glue all of them down. I'm going to glue just a few of them down so that I get a good adherence. But again, I want them to have a little bit of life, and the way that I give life to these is to not glue them down so tight. And then that way they have an opportunity to just kind of, you know, be up and about, kind of float, if you will, around. And then I'm going to use my mini dimensionals, and I'm going to put those on the back of my Moody Mauve pods. They're not really flowers, they're more like pods, at least that's what I'm going to call them. So I'm going to put those on the back, and let me see, I'm going to make sure I got plenty. Okay, so we're going to, that's good for me. And then I'll use my take your pick to help get the backs off. So quick and easy. Let's see, I don't think that one came off. Okay, I think they're all off now. And then I will hide where we put all those together right underneath this. So this card is now done. Isn't it pretty? I just love it when these things come together. It's so pretty between the designer series paper and the coordinating inks and the coordinating markers, and just so, so pretty. And basically these pretty much look the same. My greenery is just a little bit darker, but still love it. All right, one last card to go. This one's an interesting one. This is a fun one. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's right here. My Winter Wishes. So I have Misty Moonlight. I have a piece of designer series paper. I have a piece of white cardstock. And actually I only need 4 strips of Misty Moonlight. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side. We're going to, let me see, I should have another piece of scrap. I do. It's already cut even. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be stamping Winter Wishes. Let me move this off to the side. Winter Wishes. Did I leave it on as block, or did I take it off? I think I took it off. Yes, I did. All right, so I need to put it back on a block. We're playing musical stamps, switching them around. So here's my Winter Wishes. I'm going to actually stamp it in Misty Moonlight. Maybe I'll put it down here just so that I can get it straight. Okay, so where's my Misty Moonlight? And what I'm going to do, oh, I'm so glad I've got my glass mat here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my square so that it's angled. And I want it so that it's lined up with each of the lines, just so that I know that I've got a straight square, excuse me. Or I guess I should call it a diamond. My fingers are a little sticky, but I basically want it to be straight, and that's how I'm going to get it, is I'm going to line it up with all of these lines, except for I keep sticking. Okay, we're good. Then what I can do is I can take my Winter Wishes, tap, 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 and I'm going to center it in my diamond. So straight down, back up. There we go. I need my Simply Chamois to get that cleaned off. I'm going to put the ink away. And now we can start assembling the card. So fun. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually adhere this diamond to the card base. So I'm going to get some glue on the back of it, or the DSP layer, I should say. We're not going to put it on the card base just yet. But I've got this, and I want to center it from top to bottom. So I'm going to try to line it up in both directions. And pick it up. There we go. All right. Let's see. What we're going to do is we're going to start layering these blue strips. And you're going to put just enough glue. In fact, do I have my, yes, I do. My mat, it's not Teflon, it's silicone, my silicone mat. I'm just going to put enough glue to get me off to the edge. So you're going to line it up with the edge of your diamond. See how I've done that? And take it out. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to snip it off. Okay. And then let me see if this one's long enough. If it's not long enough, then I will get another strip, and it happens to be long enough. Yay! So now what you're going to do is you're going to line this one up even with your diamond and butt it up against the strip that you just put down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Take that out to the edge, and then I can trim it off. Okay. Take my next strip. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue it down, follow it all the way down. So I only need to put glue basically to that point where I marked it with my finger. So a little bit of glue there. Butt that up all the way to the edge. Trim that off, and let's see if this piece is long enough for me to do, and it's going to be. So basically I didn't need 4 strips, I only needed 2 strips, and I was able to use both strips, or 2 strips instead of the 4. So let's go ahead and get this butt up again to that edge, and to this edge, all the way out. So fun. Who thought that I actually cut that designer series paper and all those patterns? Isn't that fun? Oh, I just love that. Love, love. Okay, so now you take this piece and you adhere it to your white. So we'll do that. Get it centered. Let's get this silicone mat out of the way. It's causing me to stick. And then we'll get this centered. It's 1/8 of an inch on each side. So I'm going to center it up. I get a lot of my ideas from fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. I need to write their names down so I could remember to give them credit. But I'm telling you right now, there are some amazing designers out there, and I'm just inspired by them all the time. And then I can't wait to try, you know, some of the things that they've done. And I don't remember who I got this idea from, but I remember her doing it, and it was like a light bulb went on, because I was one that thought, how do I measure that paper so that I know how it needs to angle? And silly me, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about, you know, strips of paper. So it was fun to be able to create this card. I've got some dimensionals, or not dimensionals, I've got some embellishments that I'm going to bring in this time around. These are the Faceted Gem Trio Pack. And I'm going to just take a few of these and place them right about here. I usually do mine in 3, and usually I try to do it in like a triangle. It doesn't have to be an equilateral triangle, but in a triangle. But anyway, this card's done. Oh my gosh, how easy was that card? And look how pretty it is. So let's bring them all back in again. We've got, let me clear some space so that I can bring them all back in again. We have this set that we did, and then we have the ones that we did at the very beginning with the embossing. Let me pull these down a little bit so you guys can see. Oh my goodness, so pretty. I love this bundle. Again, this bundle is the Magical Meadow bundle. It is retiring. It's retiring the end of the year. You might have January 1st, 2nd, 3rd to order, but it's retiring. So if they don't sell out, it might go into the online store, but it is not going into the new catalog. So if you're interested in it, be sure to get it before it retires. And don't forget that Thursday is, or what would be today, if you're watching this on Thursday, is free shipping. So you certainly could do your bundle and some other things to get your order up to $75, so you can get your shipping for free. So let's talk again. Let me come back to all of you and just remind you that this is a to-go class. So if you want the to-go class for free, go out to my website so you can pick up the host code and let me know that you want it. And then I will start getting your kit ready for you to ship to you. And it needs to be a $40 order before tax and shipping. Or if you want the embellishments as well, which if you order the kit, the bundle, the bundle is, I think it's like 53 or 50, it's 50 something. But anyway, you would automatically get the embellishments for free. So wanted to touch on that. Wanted to touch on, don't forget about the free shipping. We'll be doing this bundle again next week. So I'm excited to share those cards with you as well. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you like what I'm sharing, please like and follow me on my Facebook page. And then once this is uploaded to YouTube, if you will like and share on YouTube, that will help as well. It's been amazing, the growth that I've had this year. I've met the most amazing people. We had a fun holiday stamp class celebration last weekend. I had so much fun, and not only do I enjoy doing what I'm doing, but I enjoy doing it with all of you. Sharing creates happiness. And so I hope that you guys will continue to share your creations with your friends and loved ones as well. So until next week, I will see you guys later, and I'll be sure to post pictures from both the Arboretum Thursday night and while I'm at Silver Dollar City. I can share all of that with you as well. So take care, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.